In this video, we're breaking down Jaguars rookie offensive tackle Javon Foster. 10 reasons for Jaguars fans to love Javon Foster. And we're breaking down the entire rookie class. So we've already covered 3 of the rookies. So be sure to check out those videos on 7 reasons to love number 7, Brian Thomas Jr., 22 reasons to love cornerback 22, Jarrian Jones, 24 reasons to love number 24, DeAndre Prince. I couldn't come up with 62 reasons to love number 62, Javon Foster. So ran a poll on Twitter. You all voted at the Jag Bros on X, and this was the top choice to continue this format, but with a little bit of a tweak, and that is 10 reasons to love offensive tackle Javon Foster, drafted in the 4th round by the Jacksonville Jaguars. So let's get right into it. Number 1 reason to love Javon Foster is his durability. He started 41 games in his career at Mizzou, over 2,700 snaps, no games missed from 2021 to 2023 seasons. And this is a huge deal because last season the Jaguars offensive line took a lot of injuries, a lot of just changes throughout the line because of injuries. In fact, the ideal offensive line really only started a total of 1 game for the Jaguars. So bring in a guy who's durable, who's played the last 3 seasons. Yes, he's older. That's going to be a factor in his game, that he's already 24 years old. But the fact that he's played 13 starts for 2021, 2022, 2023 for the Mizzou Tigers, that's a big deal. That's going to be really important for the Jaguars offensive line. Number 2 reason to love Javon Foster is his grind, his work ethic. All of his coaches praised him in this specific area. Love this coach from the Missouri offensive line coach, Brandon Jones, said this. He's a hard worker, speaking of Javon Foster. Just his approach to the game made him really unique to me. He always comes ready to work day in, day out. He was just eager to learn. And then again, he said that Javon Foster always rose to the challenge at all times, especially that last quote. It reminds me of Jaguars rookie Anton Harrison, who got thrown into the fire right away as a starter, went up against some of the best edge rushers in the game, weeks 2 through 7. And yes, he struggled at the beginning, but we noticed towards the end of the season, Anton Harrison got better and better and better. And Javon Foster went against some of the best in college football, playing in the SEC. The Jaguars clearly loved SEC guys. They clearly loved guys that played for a Tigers team. So they took another SEC guy in Javon Foster, and he worked hard to get better and better every season. Progression. Yes, he's 24 years old, but I still think he's got a lot more potential to continue to improve for the Jaguars. Number 3 reason to love him is his running block strength. He's got a running block forte. The Jaguars struggled in this area specifically, and this is Foster's strength. NFL Draft Buzz praised his ability to work at the second level, so he's got enough athleticism and quickness to get to that second level and also to move in space. The Missouri Tigers were able to run the ball very well, especially Cody Schrader, Missouri legend. Any Mizzou fans watching this video, drop a comment below on why you love Cody Schrader. I know for Mizzou fans, he's a big deal. But this past season in 2023, he ran for 1,600 yards and 5.9 yards per attempt in 2023. PFF graded Javon Foster as an 85.8 run block grade, which puts him in the top 5. In fact, it put him 4th among all offensive tackles in the 2023 class, which was a very stacked class for offensive tackles. Just look up how many offensive tackles went in the 1st round, and you'll see how stacked of a class it was. And for him to finish in the top 5, 4th in that specific area shows that he is a very good run blocker. Whether he stays, which we'll talk about in a minute, as a run blocking, versatile swing tackle, or potentially that the Jaguars might move him inside. Number 4 reason to love him is he's an improving pass blocker. Yes, he's a great run blocker and should hopefully continue to get better, but pass blocking is really where he took the big next step from 2022 to 2023. He gave up 4 sacks in 2022, only gave up 1 sack and 0 quarterback hits in 2023. In fact, another PFF grade for him was he was the highest graded of all offensive tackles at play action passes. giving up 0 pressures on 110 snaps this past year at play action. graded over a 90 in PFF on play action blocking, which is huge because the Jaguars need to make it more and more of a priority to protect Trevor Lawrence at all costs, especially if all the rumors are true that the Jaguars are about to pay Trevor Lawrence an over $50 million deal, which that's a whole nother video, and we'll see when and if that happens. I think it will be sooner than later. Drop your thoughts too on the comments if you want the Jaguars to re-sign Trevor Lawrence to a big time deal. But if you do that, for sure, you've got to protect your quarterback. NFL Draft Buzz noticed this, that he improved his technique dramatically from 2022 to 2023, which allowed him to go from, again, 4 sacks, 3 quarterback hits in 2022 to only 1 sack and 0 hits in 2023. Number 5 reason to love him is versatility. Yes, the last 3 seasons, he started all three seasons, every start at left tackle, but early in his career at Mizzou, he's played at right tackle. Trent Baalke has already said in interviews that he really likes Javon Foster as a swing tackle. I think you're going to see right away he's going to compete with Walker Little for that swing tackle position. And his offensive line coach, Brandon Jones, who we quoted earlier from Mizzou, also said that that's part of what makes him such a valuable prospect, such a valuable player for an NFL franchise, is his versatility. There's also a lot of fans that if he doesn't work out at tackle or our tackles get covered in some other way, that there is potential because of his size, which we'll mention in a minute, that he could kick inside. But I think from day one, the goal is going to be for Javon Foster to be the swing tackle, potentially with a long-term goal of him being the opposite tackle of Anton Harrison. Number 6 reason to love him is football DNA. His dad, Jerome Foster, played defense tackle for 4 years at Ohio State, was a 3-time All-Big Ten team player, drafted to the NFL in 1983 to the Houston Oilers, also played in the NFL for Dolphins and the Jets. Mizzou offensive coordinator Kirby Moore quoted this on Javon Foster, says he loves football, loves competing. Part of Javon Foster's story is that he was much more of a basketball player, but then really fell in love with football, loves to compete, loves to go against the best. His teammate Darius Robinson, who went in the first round, edge rusher from Mizzou, said the toughest guy he's gone up against was Javon Foster. Javon Foster also performed super well at the Senior Bowl in just the entire draft process. He also played left tackle and right tackle, speaking of his versatility, at the Senior Bowl as well. So number 6 reason to love him is football is in his blood. He's got good football DNA. Number 7, Javon Foster has ideal offensive tackle size. You can't coach size. And he's got above average, above 50% in all of these areas for an NFL offensive tackle. Above average height at 6'6", above average arm length at 34, and just over 34.5 inches, 34 and 5/8 to be exact. His wingspan is 6 foot 10.5 inches. That's huge. That puts him at nearly the top 30 percentile for all offensive tackles in the NFL, and he also weighs 319 pounds. So again, he's got the ideal size for a tackle. Potentially, if things don't work out because of maybe athleticism or fit or whatever, he does have the size as well. He would need to, I think, bulk up maybe 5-10 more pounds of strength to move inside as well. But he's got the size to be a starter level, and several NFL draft sites said that as well. So number 7, ideal offensive tackle size. Number 8, he brings team leadership with him and with his game. Yes, he's older, but with that also comes maturity. He's a 2-time captain for Mizzou, highly praised by his coaches, and Missouri's offensive line went from one of the worst in the SEC to this past year. They were voted as semifinalists for the Joe Moore Award, which is for the nation's best offensive line. We already looked at some of the rushing stats as well that drastically improved with Cody Schrader, but also with an improved offensive line. And just Missouri as a whole was a much better team, one of their best seasons in their school history, finishing in the top 10, finishing 11-2, finishing 8 in the final AP, and beating Ohio State in their bowl game as well. Number 9 reason to love Javon Foster is he brings immediate depth with potential starter ability. He is going to be, again, according to Trent Baalke, he'll be the swing tackle either behind Walker Little or will certainly compete at that level with the ability to get as high, I believe, as offensive tackle number 3. And for all Jaguars fans know, there's always, for the last while, been a lot of debate about what is the future of Cam Robinson. Well, a lot of that is going to depend on how well Javon Foster plays. If he can come in and play at a really high level as a rookie, I think you could see the future of the Jaguars O-line, the future of the two guys protecting Trevor Lawrence, the two twin towers of Javon Foster and Anton Harrison, become potentially in 2025 and beyond the offensive tackles of the future. So that is the goal. But at the very least, he's going to bring immediate depth. That, again, a Jaguars offensive line that struggled with a lot of injuries, having a plug-and-play guy that, yes, is older, but has more experience, 6 seasons at Missouri, 6 seasons of high-level SEC football. He's going to be a plug-and-play guy for depth this season with the potential long-term of maybe being a starter. Let us know. Do you think Javon Foster ends up becoming a starter for the Jaguars? Let us know in the comments. Number 10 reasons to love offensive tackle Javon Foster. Number 10 is loyalty. He wanted to protect the quarterback. That's super important as an offensive tackle. You want that. You want him to have that desire to protect Trevor Lawrence, again, at all costs. He played high school ball, and he said this about the quarterback, that his quarterback was his best friend, and one of the turning points from him was watching that quarterback take a brutal hit, and from then on, it was like a switch that flipped for him, that he said, I'll always want to protect the quarterback. That was a really bad snap, by the way. That was still bad. Eventually, we'll get it. There you go. But he played 6 seasons for Missouri, again, in a college football landscape where people are transferring, switching schools a lot. 6 seasons, and saw Missouri get better and better and better until his final super senior season, where they were the best that he had seen. He also shared in his post-draft interview that he just felt blessed to be drafted and to play for the Jaguars, and again, improved his team every year. And so I think those are 10 reasons to be excited, 10 reasons to love Javon Foster. It's not to say that there's no weaknesses or not any room for improvement, but of course you can check out other breakdowns to kind of see that. But just want to get the Jaguars fans hyped for each of our rookies. We're going to continue to do this. Our next one, we're going to flip to the other side of the field and talk about 10 reasons to love kicker Cam Little, drafted in the 6th round. After that, we'll break down the other 4 Jaguars rookies. So be sure to hit subscribe so you catch all these videos. But let us know in the comments what you think about Javon Foster. What are you excited to see from him? And anything else you want us to talk about in this Jaguars